Hey, welcome to our deeper dive into forming habits and making them stick. This is Empower Her Health, where I am just working with you to empower you for your health. So you know more, you have more tools, and you can take it into your own hands and feel empowered to do that. So with creating habits, there's a couple models that I really like that are going to kind of help you to examine how you're forming these habits, what your goals are, what's realistic for you, and then use a few of these tricks to help make the whatever changes you want to make stick. And so we're gonna start off with what's called the GROW model. And I really like this because it kind of has you ask a bunch of questions surrounding your goal, making sure they fit you, your lifestyle, your values, and what you want to accomplish. So I'm going to be asking you a series of questions for each letter, so GROW, and you can pause this video, you can take notes, and it's going to help you to make sure that whatever goal or habit that you're trying to create in your life is going to be as successful as possible. So the first letter is G, and this has to do with your goals. So there's going to be 4 questions I'm going to ask you that have to do with your goals. So the first one is really simple. It's just, what do you want to achieve? The next question has to do with your values. What is important about this goal to you? So let's say it's weight loss or starting to exercise. We're going to dig a little deeper than just, I want to look better. Let's think, I want to show my kids a good example because I didn't have a good example growing up, and I don't want it to be as hard for them as it was for me. So dig a little deeper on this one. The third question has to do with how you are staying accountable and how you are measuring your goal. So how will I know when I achieved this goal? So what is that going to look like? How exactly can you measure reaching this goal? And then, if you've heard of the SMART goals before, the T is time bound. So, what is a realistic time frame for me to accomplish this goal in? So, this is another way of creating a SMART goal, but it's just taking reality, which is the R in GROW, into consideration. So moving on to R, I'm going to have another series of questions for you to answer, and this is to do with your personal reality. Now the R is something I really like because this is where it gets real. This is where it kind of helps you examine what your circumstances are, and then that's why I like the GROW model a lot better than SMART goals because it's not taking context into consideration. So the first question for R is, what is happening in your life right now? And what is the effect of this on your current situation? So let's say I have a newborn baby. That is going to make things so much more difficult as far as, starting a new habit. It doesn't make it impossible though. So taking your current life circumstances into consideration. And then what steps have you already taken towards your goal? So maybe you've prepared to start taking steps towards your goal. Maybe you have bought some dumbbells. Maybe you bought a new cookbook. But what actual action have you taken towards your goal already? Maybe you've lost 5 pounds. Maybe you've already been working out for a couple months, but it hasn't been that consistent. Still, any actual action, what have you taken so far towards your goal? And then the final question in reality is, how does this goal conflict with other goals that you have in your life? So let's say you're starting an exercise program, but you also have a goal of being a really good parent, and you're, trying to figure out, how can I spend a lot of time, quality time with my kids and start this new exercise program? So how do the two conflict? This question is one of the most important, I think, in this entire GROW model. Then we're going to move on to the O, which is options. So options are going to be, examining a little bit more. You do have options. It is not impossible. And so we're going to kind of consider a few of those and which ones are going to work best for your situation. Okay, so in options, we're first going to examine some of the obstacles that are unique to your life. So, what are some of the obstacles that lie in the path of achieving this goal? Is the first question, which is so important because obstacles should be expected. A lot of times we form goals and we think if life is perfect, this is exactly how it will go, but we need to expect obstacles to happen because that is reality. It's not the fact that we're a victim and all these bad things happen to us, it's just life. Things are going to come up. So let's consider what those obstacles are going to be. And then it says, how will I respond to these obstacles? So we're coming up with a game plan for responding to these obstacles. I am planning on working out while my toddler is painting or having screen time. But let's say they don't feel like doing it that day. What are we going to do? We're going to have maybe a backup plan for that. All right. And then you're going to think of those responses. And then it says you have to have a few different ways you can handle this. And then consider the advantages and disadvantages of each of these options. So you're really getting down into how you can respond to obstacles, which I love because oftentimes we do not do this. And when an obstacle arises, it's an easy way to throw in the towel. So this is really digging down deep and helping you think and plan and have a plan B and a plan C and, get ready for those obstacles. And then what have you done in the past that has worked? Oh, my toddler loved it when they got to work out with me, or they had a Miss Linky video that they could do. So they were working out like mommy. And then, what do you need to stop doing in order to achieve this goal? Maybe I need to stop thinking that I am too busy. Maybe I need to stop thinking that there isn't a solution. Maybe I need to stop wasting time on my phone before I work out so that my toddler isn't bored by the time I work out. I need to jump right into that workout. Lots of options there. And then what do I need to start doing in order to reach this goal? So that might be I need to start believing in myself, start telling myself and reframing in my mind that this is possible and have that new mindset going forward. And dig a little deeper into these questions too. How am I going to do that? I'm going to hire a health coach that's going to help me with cognitive restructuring. That might be an option. It might be I'm going to surround myself with more positive people. I am going to text a friend who believes in me and is supporting me. All right, so that is options. That is the O in the GROW model. And then we're going to move on to the W, which is will. So will, what will you do now? What is the first action step you are going to take? And then how will you move forward? So how are you going to make, these questions are very similar, but how are you going to move the needle of progress forward? What will help you to increase your likelihood for success? Maybe it's getting sleep, not watching that TV show before bed so that you are more mentally able to handle the stress that's going to come with trying to form a new habit. Maybe it is incorporating some kind of stress management into your day so that you are able to handle that little extra load of stress that you're going to have while you're trying to form this new goal and make a new habit stick. And then the last question here is, how often will you review your progress? This is something that really helps with accountability. So this accountability, having some kind of a review system so that you know that you are going to be held accountable. This could be something that you are checking to make sure you get 10,000 steps a day. This could be, I am going to check in with my health coach once a week. There's a lot of different options you have here for how to review your progress, and it's a good chance to celebrate that progress as well. Now, as in terms of how to make this habit stick, there is another model I really like, and it's James Clear. He wrote Atomic Habits, and he had 4 laws of habit, and I really liked how he broke this down because it makes a lot of sense. And so it works both ways, whether you're trying to create a new habit or break an old habit. So the first one is make it attractive. How can you make this attractive? If you're working out, maybe it's putting inspirational signs up, having good lighting, making something about it very attractive so your brain lights up when you're doing it, even if it's not the process itself that's attractive, maybe something surrounding it is attractive. On the flip side of this, making it unattractive if it's something that you're trying to break. So maybe, let's say it's a space that you usually enjoy hanging out in and wasting time. How can you make it less attractive to you? Maybe it's some kind of reminder you're putting up there that's kind of making you more motivated to get out of that space and go somewhere else. Next, the second law is make it easy. So you are putting the healthy food in front of the fridge and you are putting the unhealthy food in the back of the fridge, or maybe not even in your house. So kind of the flip sides of those two, making it easy or making it difficult. Then making it obvious. So this is something like, maybe I'm gonna set out my workout clothes. So the second I get up, it's kind of easy as well, but it's obvious. It's right there. It is in my line of sight, and it's something that is just obviously the right choice for me to make. And on the flip side of that, making it less obvious. So making it something that is not as obvious of choice for you to make. Taking some of a temptation out of your line of sight. And then last is making it satisfying, having some kind of reward after you're doing this, whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic. So meaning it can be something that you're saying in your head, a mantra, congratulating yourself, or it can be something extrinsic, like after I do this or while I'm doing this, I get to watch my favorite TV show. And on the flip side, you're trying to make other things unsatisfying. So if I'm eating candy, afterwards, you might already be hard on yourself, but maybe it's something where you're like, how is this helping me reach my goal? And on the flip side of that, when you're eating the vegetables and the protein, you are working on your mental messages and making it satisfying and say, see, this feels better. This is going to feel better in the future. So those are a lot of questions, a lot of data for you to kind of compile and create these goals. But these are all scientifically proven questions you can ask yourself, ways you can format your goals, set up your environment, your mind to achieve habits and help you to make them stick long term. So I enjoyed talking about this. I love the science of habit. Mel Robbins is an awesome person to follow. She has a lot of habit work in her books, in her podcasts. James Clear, Atomic Habits, I already mentioned that. And then Charles Duhigg does have some really great books on habit as well. So if you want to further your own education, those are some great resources for you. But I hope you're feeling empowered. I hope you're feeling ready to take on some goals. And if you do want help with forming goals, creating new habits, that is what my main role as a health coach is. You are driving, and I am just guiding you as you are driving your vehicle into the future, achieving your goals. So that's what I'm here for. Next week, we're going to have a new topic, so make sure you're jumping on my Instagram stories, voting for what you'd like to hear about next week. I do a few shorts throughout the week, and then I do a deep dive on the weekend into whatever subject you guys choose. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to our next chat.